So here we are at the beginning of March. The programme of investments towards green steelmaking here in Port Talbot Steelworks is going on apace. And today we've attended a supplier and contractor engagement day hosted by Sir Robert McAlpine, who are the main works contractor for the programme. They've gathered lots and lots of local companies in a room today to explain the programme, to explain their rationale, to explain their standards and ethics, and engaging with people. And what I'm going to try and do today is try and capture a few of those people who have been involved and have been talking, to understand a bit about the scene they're setting. First person I want to get is Paul Bird. Paul Bird, you'll remember, joined us for the awarding of the contractors for Robert McAlpine. He hosted the session today. Follow me here. I'm just going to see if I can just catch him quickly. Paul, hi, welcome. Thanks very much for today. Just got the camera here because I wanted to talk to you about today's contractor engagement day. A lot of people here today. Tell us a bit about what it's about.
Today is about engaging with the supply chain who've been involved with us on the journey so far, give an up-to-date status on where we are on the journey, and also what work packages are going to be coming out that they can tender for, and really engage with them and get them up to speed with how the project's going.
Yeah, because it was a good overview. Lots of people on stage talking about different aspects of the project, especially focusing around the electric arc furnace and the infrastructure all around that. You had a number of people up on stage talking about it's kind of the engineering works, but the thing that struck me was throughout your different people from Sir Robert McAlpine's presentations was about the standards that you're setting. Every person stood up and talked about those standards, the gold construction standard, I can't remember exact terminology. That's really, really important to you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, standards, especially doing works on site. We have our minimum standards that everybody has to work to. We like to think we're above that, and so we never fall below it, and people come to work and are safe, and sometimes go in a better condition if they have health medicals. Yeah. And that is for us. It's all about people, managing people, making sure they're safe, making sure they're working safe, but also they understand what our requirements are.
And you said it's a massive project. You said, you want this to be number one in the country, but you want people to have fun while they're here. But you said it was going to be hard work. You're setting the scene for a number of, would they be classed as subcontractors to Sir Robert McAlpine? Number of contractors who are effectively coming to pitch for some of those work packages.
Those works contractors will predominantly between 3 and 4 for each work package. They will be managed by ourselves as McAlpines, but with you guys as an integrated team with Tata procurement. Tata will procure those work packages on our advice, our recommendations, place the orders, and then we'll manage the work packages on site as part of the construction management. And from that, we'll evaluate valuations for payments, monthly applications, and then Tata will pay those works contractors direct.
So a great opportunity for those contractors to understand the project, a bit more about yourselves today, and meet some of the people. What happens next?
Next, we get the tenders out, and we get the works priced, and then we can start placing orders for the various works packages, whether it's piling, reinforced concrete work, structural steel work. So there's been really good engagement today, and some of these companies have been involved with us on this journey so far. A lot of them are local companies as well.
Yeah, good.
A lot of Welsh employment, and how we transition from blast furnace steelworks to electric arc works, and what that means for supply chain being involved and being proud in delivering the civil, structural and building works.
Now, some people will be watching this and they'll go, hang on, it's March already. You say you're going to be starting in June or July. Isn't it a bit late to start doing this?
No, we've got to get through planning some of the planning conditions. We're preparing for July. The preparatory works have started already, and we've got significant work started on site, getting ready for the main work starting. It is going to be a challenge, but we just need to work together as a team.
Yeah. Listen, thanks very much for taking time out. I know you've got lots of people to talk to. We're going to go and find some other people who presented today, who are involved today, including one of our marketing guys who was talking about the use of our steels in the project itself. So we'll go and wander around and see who else we can find. So, as I mentioned, one of the things that was talked about today was the potential use of Tata Steel products in the actual build programme. And I can see over here Paul White from marketing. I'll see if I can grab him. Paul, could I quickly grab you? Hi, good to see you here today.
And you?
So, Paul, from our marketing function, you talked today about the potential to use Tata Steel products in the actual build of this investment program. A lot of people will be very glad to hear that. Tell us a bit about it.
No, great to see it. What we've come today is just really to highlight that, not just steel products, we've got building products as well, semi-finished products, building systems products that can be used for the building. But what's really exciting as well is, at the end of the day, this EAF is about building future products as well, and those products in the future will be green steel products, as we term it, that we can use in the future. So no, it'd be great to use as many products as we can in the building.
Yeah, because I think people will probably look at the projects and go, well, you can use colour coat on the outside. It's used in IKEA, it's used in industrial buildings all around the world. You can use colour coat, but they may not understand what other products are within our portfolio already that could be used in the project. Talk us a bit about some of those other sort of more construction steel.
Yeah, absolutely. So, fundamentally, our colour coat products are the basis of the products that we supply, but downstream we do supply composite insulated panels, so a tri-cement panel or a trimmer panel product, which are sort of roofing and wall application composite panels for cladding systems. And then we've also got built-up systems as well, which are sort of a built-up outer skin, inner liner, and insulation in the middle. Yeah. And all of that comes with, we have our own Platinum Plus guarantee, but obviously for ourselves, it's a Tata Steel building effectively, which is what we want to build.
Yeah, and you mentioned tubes, structural sections, and conveyancing tubes. So it's part of the package as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Corby and Hartlepool both producing structural hollow sections. So there's the opportunity to use those in the building from a construction perspective. And conveyance tubes we've got available as well. So again, there's an opportunity for all the M&E to make sure we get as much of our own product into the building, which makes total sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it's not a topic I was going to pick up on in the interview, but you mentioned at the beginning this potential in all our supply chains and our customers to benefit from greener steel that we're going to be making through the electric arc furnace. We've not touched on it much, and maybe we'll come back to you and do a separate video or a podcast with you about it. But how excited are our customers getting about the potential to get, steels which have got a massively lower carbon footprint?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot of interest over the last few years in low carbon products and low carbon steel products. A lot of it has been driven, I guess, societally. We've seen that sort of drive and that push. Which is great because it's sort of moving us forward. We're always a little bit, making sure that are we going to be there soon enough? So we're being asked for products now, and there's an element of being a little bit careful of the unintended consequences if people ask for low carbon products that aren't necessarily available now. But we're trying to do some stuff on being able to get those products available in transition. But the really exciting bit is, we're starting to see this pull now. And it was very much driven in the construction sector, I think, first and foremost, where we're seeing a pull for low carbon products or low emission product steels. But we're seeing it roll out into other sectors now. So data centers, wind farms, the likes of Google, Microsoft, but even some of the other IKEA and people like you mentioned there are really starting to pull for lower carbon options.
Yeah, it all gets quite exciting. Listen, thanks for taking time out today. Thanks for coming and clarifying to all those contractor partners that we've got so many products that could be used in the construction of this building. And fingers crossed we can get as much as we can.
Thanks, Tim.
Nice one. Cheers, Paul. So interesting, different angle we weren't expecting today about our products being used in the construction of the main build project. There's lots of other people here. Let's see who else we can grab. Key aspects of today's presentation was not only about ethics and standards and engineering work, it was also about the health and safety of the people involved on the project team. I can see behind me Darren Jones. Darren, can I just grab you for a minute?
Hey,
how's it going, Darren? All right?
Yeah, okay?
Good. I was just saying that a key part of the contractor engagement today was around health and safety as much as it was about engineering works. Yes. You're leading that for the project. How important is that to bring those contractors up to the same standards, but have the contractors on board with what we're trying to do in terms of health and safety?
Well, I think, Tim, ultimately is the main objective. I think what makes this project interesting is the construction design management element of it. Paul mentioned it earlier. Tata Steel normally hold all those duties under CDM, but this time, because we haven't got the knowledge, skills and experience that SRM bring, they will be undertaking that duty on our behalf. So that creates interfaces,
Yeah.
which not only we are interested in from a health and safety perspective, but also the health and safety executive and the competent authority are very interested in as well.
Yeah, because we know how much of a challenge it is to manage health and safety amongst our own employees. But I mean, this project could involve, I don't know how many contracted companies, but 30, 40, 50, maybe more. That's going to be one hell of a challenge, isn't it?
It certainly is. And I think in terms of managing those interfaces is a key bit of what this is about. And in terms of keeping that in control, but the words again were mentioned on the slides: cooperation, communication, and more communication, and more communication.
Yeah.
So indeed, whilst we have a lot of it to do, we'll be reliant on you guys as well to actually help us gather.
Yeah, and lots of the contractors here today will have had a line drawn in the sand saying, listen, if you want to bid for this business, these are the minimum standards. That's the right way over at it, isn't it?
Yeah. Highest standards only. I think ultimately at the end of the day, construction is an industry which historically in the UK kills people.
Yeah.
So, 138 people last year in associated events and 50 associated with working at night, predominantly, but not exclusively, but predominantly around the construction industry. And you heard it today, we have structures 9 metre at height, buildings which we are actually altering, temporary works, which is all part of making it safe, and ensuring everybody is fully briefed and knows exactly what they're doing is the most important thing of all.
Yeah, and here's a topic we're going to come back to, Darren, and we'll get you separately on a video or a podcast, and you and Dave Morgan, I know, are going to carry it through,
Okay, yeah,
and we'll
right,
do that
yeah.
separately. But listen, today, thanks very much for joining
lovely.
us.
Thank you, Tim.
Nice one. Cheers, Darren. So as well as directors, engineers, some of our major contractor partners, what we shouldn't forget when we're talking about engaging with our suppliers and contractors is there's a team of people who are managing those contracts. And just next to me, found Mark Lane. Mark, thanks for joining us. Just a quick one, really. People may traditionally think that when it comes to suppliers and contractors, it's a sort of an arm's length relationship, and you ask them to send a form in and you judge them on costs and quality and not much else. Engagement days like this are a very different approach. Good thing?
Hugely important, Tim. I mean, this is such a critical project to the business that we really want to have, an engaged contractor workforce, and not just our existing contractors. We are actually looking much further and much wider, because this is such a big project that we want to engage with a much wider supply chain. Hence, we've organised today with Sir Robert McAlpine, who are acting as our construction managers.
Yeah.
So a hugely important day. I think great for people to come and do a sniff test, see, touch, feel, get first-hand, personal contact with who's going to be running this.
Yeah.
So great opportunity, some great networking today, and I think we've certainly discovered some new suppliers we've not dealt with before or weren't aware of before. So hopefully it creates new opportunities for everybody.
Yeah, your team are going to be massively busy, I should think, in the short term, especially because this is a massive programme, isn't it? £1.25 billion programme, and all of that spend will have to come through procurement. How's that going with your team?
Certainly going to be a busy time, Tim. Unfortunately, we've got a very good team. The guys have worked together for a number of years, and they really are so good at what they do. So we're very fortunate. We've got a very, very strong CAPEX procurement team. Busy, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that will continue, I think, right the way through the life of this project, because not just placing the orders, we have to contract manage them right the way through to the end stage. So a lot of work to do, but very exciting.
Yeah.
Nice to be spending money in the right way.
Yeah.
And certainly, playing our part in the future of the site.
Yeah, but not a massive amount of time. We're sitting here in March, spades in the ground, June, July. There's a piece of work in the next 3 months for you guys, isn't there?
There certainly is, Tim, and I try not to think about it, otherwise I'd have too many sleepless nights. But you're absolutely right. It is a very challenging timeline, but we are organised around it. We are working with some good people. As you say, we've got McAlpine supporting us on the civils. So we've chosen a good partner there. But yes, acutely aware of tight timelines. But as I say, I try not I try not to let they keep me up too much at night, but
Yeah.
we'll get there, I'm sure.
Nice one. Listen, thanks very much for joining us, Mark. Important day in the progress of the project. I'll leave you to crack on with the work with your team. So, of course, some of the key people involved in this project from Tata Steel's end in terms of managing contracts and contractors are our engineers. I can see one here. I'm just going to interrupt him, if I may. Richard Chapman. Hi, how are you? Now, the last time I spoke to you, I think, was Blast Furnace 5 life extension, probably back in 2018, I think it was now. You're one of the key project engineers on Project Invictus, the green steel making investment program. Contractor engagement day today. How important are contractors to you as a project engineer?
I think they're everything. They're everything for the success of the project. So we've got great contractor relationships with our existing supply chain. Obviously, this is a bigger project for us, so we need more contractors on board, and we're looking to take that relationship that we've got with our existing supply chain and find some new friends.
Yeah. But it gets very complex, doesn't it? You have a lot of contracting companies, all with specific tasks. Does that get a bit like herding cats?
Well, that's part of the reason we've got Sir Robert McAlpine involved. They're our sort of managing contractor, and they're there to help bring everybody together, help manage the logistics, help manage the safety of the site, and bring that piece of work and all those different contractors together to deliver the project safely.
Yeah, and of course, lots of these contractors you'll know already, you'll have worked with before. Lots of the people within them will know the plant very well. Some of them may even be recruiting former Tata Steel employees. How much easier does that make your job?
It definitely makes our life easier. We're not sort of limiting this to our existing supply chain, so we're looking to spread the net wider with this project. So we're looking to see some new faces working on this project as well.
Nice one. Listen, thanks for your time. Thanks for taking time, and we'll see you on the project. So I'm going to come back and talk to you definitely, and get into the detail of what you're working on. But listen, thanks for now, Richard. There we are. Listen, before we go, lots of other people. The other person I would like to speak to is Shankar Marar. So Shankar is the director of capital projects here, the strategic investment projects. He opened the session this morning, and let's just go see if we can find Shankar. There we are, not a few feet away. We managed to grab Shankar Marar, Director of CAPEX projects. Shankar, you opened the session today, contractor engagement session. How important are the contractor companies to the success of this program?
Look, while we can build the designs and we can conceptualize it, it is really the contractor base who will build this asset. And we are not talking about an asset which is going to be here for 5 years or 10 years. We are going to talk about the asset which is actually going to lead us to the next level of transformation. So they are absolutely central to us, and they are, I mean, for us it's existential to have them with us. And I'm extremely happy to see that people not only from Wales but from England, from Scotland, have been here to be a part of this journey. And actually in this room there's a lot of positive vibe, and it gives me a good sense of confidence that we will be able to really deliver on this project with this entire family here.
Now, of course, we appointed Sir Robert McAlpine only a month or so as the main works contractor. They've hosted this session, they've set it up. How pleased are you with the language they're using?
Extremely pleased. In fact, if I go back to the journey of having Sir Robert McAlpine as our partner, we brought in the value proposition that Sir Robert McAlpine will bring on this project. It was not a cost-led decision, it was a value-led decision. It was a values-led decision also, because we found that their approach to contractor employees, their approach to safety, their approach to transparency, their approach to working together as a team is very, very good. That is what really struck me. In fact, I never knew that some of the key people from SRM were actually from SRM till I came to know a little more in detail. They were so integrated. Peter and Paul would be together almost in every session, and I never knew if Paul was from SRM. It's only after that I came here that I came to know about it. So the messages that Paul and his team have conveyed today, about the importance of the project, the importance of the contribution of the contractor, and some of the very clear lines in the sand or red lines of what should not be done was extremely well put together. So I'm extremely pleased that they are part of our team. We are working together.
Because it was notable, Shankar, when you did the introduction and you were asking people in the room to stand up and so people could see who they were, that you didn't mention what company they were from or even their job titles, because you seem to have this perspective that for this project to be a success, it has to be one team with no borders, no boundaries. How important will that be throughout the next 3 years?
Well, if you look at the soft aspects of a project success, it is about transparency, communication, being able to speak truth to power, being able to say that, guys, I think something is seriously wrong here. We've got to fix it. And all of us coming onto the table in a huddle to solve the problem. I think what Paul was said was extremely important. Emails are the last recourse. It's just to put something on record contractually. But do we want to see a contract book during the entire project? I wouldn't want to, because whenever I opened the contract book, it's been in times of absolute difficulty. That's not the thing to be done. So the communication that is there, the transparency that is there, is extremely, extremely important, and I can see that happening here.
And lots of work to get on with, but not much time. I mentioned to Paul earlier, we're talking about spades in the ground June, July. Yeah, we're in March already. I mean, things need to get a shift on, don't they?
So the next 90 days actually are going to be very, very important in the way we prepare. I would put this as the last lap in the race, because this 90 days is in the back of thousands of days of work that Paul and Peter and their teams have put together. I think it's going to finally start seeing. What I understand is we are going to put out the RFQs for the trade contractors to quote. So that is going out in a week's time, and then we will see a lot of activity happening. Once we get them mobilized, I think then it's about. I was recently in the Aggregator site, and they told me that once it's about getting the contracts through, but once that is done, there's a lot of energy that comes into site. People start building things, they start pulling things apart. So I would look at it as the last lap of that race. Yes, you're right. We've got to get it over the line, and that's where all the work is going to happen.
Listen, Shankar, thanks very much for joining us. Great to talk to you as ever, and we'll definitely be coming back to you and talk to you as the project goes on. But for the time being, thanks very much for your time. Listen, there's been a lot of people here at the contract today. We've talked to some engineers, we've talked to SRM, we've talked a lot about the standards that are being put in place for the contractors who want to get on board with the work packages. Talked to Shankar, the leader of the CAPEX. Talked to Darren Jones about health and safety. There's a lot coming together in one, relatively short engagement day to get everybody in the right place before the project starts. Spades in the ground, June, July, doesn't seem far away. Shankar's very confident that 90 days we'll break the back of it, and then we'll be into the project main, and we should all get very excited about that. So we'll catch up soon.